This is LSAT PrepTest 20, Section 3, questions 19 through 24, the fourth logic game of this test. Okay, so what do we got? We have that at an evening concert, total of 6 songs. We have O, P, T, X, Y, and Z. Will be performed by 3 vocalists, George, Helen, and Leslie. Okay, the songs will be sung consecutively as solos, and each will be performed exactly once. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, the following constraints govern the composition of the concert program. Okay, so first rule. Y must be performed earlier than T, earlier than O, so Y is before T, Y is before O. 2. P must be performed earlier than Z, and later than O, so we can just combine those. We'll do that in a second. Right, third rule. George performs only X, Y, and Z. 4. H can perform only T, P, and X. 5. Leslie can only perform O, P, and X. 6. 1 is not equal to 6. So the first vocalist must be different from the last vocalist. Right? Okay, so what deductions can we make here? Immediately what I recognize here is that this O latches onto this O, so let's just move this up here. Right? This is 1 plus 2 now, and we can just get rid of this entirely. Okay. How about these guys? Right? This seems like something that is pretty important, because right now, like with 6 songs and 3 people to sing them, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of restrictions, and they don't actually explicitly put restrictions on it. But look at what you have here, right? X is in common, P is in common, but Y and Z, George is the only one who can sing them. As far as T is concerned, H is the only one that can sing T, and L is the only one that can sing O, right? So you know immediately that George sings these 2 songs, Helen sings this song, and Leslie sings this song. So really the only the only songs where the performers in question is X and P, right? All 3 of them can sing X, only 2 of them can sing P, but the rest of these are all spoken for, right? George performs Y, Helen performs T, Leslie performs O, P we have no idea, but George again performs Z, right? Which makes this 6th rule, I think now much easier to understand, right? Because like once upon a time, if all 3 of them can sing any of these 6 songs, it's like, what are you, like that's just not enough information for us to figure things out, right? But now, for example, you know that Y can't be the first song and Z can't be the last song because George has to sing both of them, for example, right? So that's the power of these middle 3 rules, and then that definitely just leads us to rule number 6, which is just as you would expect. It's just now it's a lot clearer in terms of what it is that they are expecting out of you. Like they expect you basically to figure this out. If you figure that middle part out, then this game obviously gets much easier. And so that's your quote unquote big deduction for this game. So we can actually just go to the questions now and see what they want out of you. So question 19, your standard acceptability question. Right, so acceptable schedule for the performance of the songs. So let's actually write these out so we can take a look. And then B is X, Z, Y, T, O, P. We have Y, O, P, X, T, Z. We have Y, P, O, Z, T, X. Then we have Y, X, O, P, Z, T. This is Z. That's an ugly P. Okay, and I know this is, look at this nice curve here. I know that it's not very pretty, but it'll do, I guess. This is also an X. Okay, so we just got to run through our rules, right? Y before T, Y before T, nope. Y before T, Y before T, Y before T, Y before T. Okay. Y, O, P, Z, Y, O, P, Z, Y, O, P, O, Z, Y and Z. No. Y, O, P, Z, Y, O, P, no. Right here. Y, O, P, Z. Okay, that's fine. And then what's left is 1 is not equal to 6, right? So in this case, Y and Z are both sung by George, so that can't be it. Whereas here, this is George, and this is Helen, so we're okay on this respect. The answer is E is correct here. Right, so if you didn't figure out this, question 19 would have forced you to sit there until you figured it out. Okay, so which of the following must be true about the program? I mean, you look through the answer choices here, and it's just really simple. It's answer choice C. Helen performs T. Why do we believe that? Because, well, right here, right? Helen only performs T, P, and X, and nobody else performs T. If you look at the rest of these, George performs X. He could, but the other 2 could as well. Helen performs O. She actually doesn't. Leslie performs P. She could, but she doesn't have to. Leslie performs X. She could, but she doesn't have to. Right? So answer choice C again. Right? If you didn't make this deduction that only certain people can sing certain songs, the LSAT just puts it out there for you. It forces you to sit there until you understand what's going on. Right? which sometimes they don't do. So this is actually kind of nice because they, they sort of hold your hand through this process. Okay, how about 21? Which of the following is a complete and accurate list of songs, any one of which could be the last song performed at the concert? Okay, so here is where this idea of sort of floaters comes into play, right? Because okay, X kind of does whatever it wants, right? We have rules. We have an ordering rule for 5 of these guys, and then X kind of floats around and does whatever. And so when they're talking about a complete and accurate list of things that are the last song at the performance, that's going to be important, right? Because basically the only thing we know about the last song of the performance is that number 1, it can't be the same as the first song of the performance, and now number 2, it can include X, right? So the first thing we're going to do, let's actually reproduce these. So OTX, TPZ, that's a Z as well, TXZ, and XPZ. Right? The first thing to realize is that X can go last because we don't know anything about X. So anything that doesn't include an X, A and C are immediately wrong, right? And so now you think about this, right? So X can definitely be the last one. If X is, and X can I guess also be the first one. But then what else do we know about the sequence of these guys? Well, we know that well basically there's this sequence, right? So it can't be any of these guys in front of Z, like it can't be P, it can't be O, it can't be Y, right? So this O right here, for example, eliminates answer choice B because O can't be last. We got P and Z to go after it, right? Same thing over here. This P eliminates because we've still got Z to go after it. So there's no way that P can go last, right? So it turns out that yes, T can go last, right? Because this can go all the way at the end. X can go last because X can do whatever it wants, or Z can go last, right? So yeah, this is just reading, reading the sequence over here and applying our rules and figuring it out. In a more difficult variation of this of this question, they could have maybe said, if Y goes first, then who can't go last or something like that, or what is an accurate list of people who can go last or whatever. And in that case, for example, if Y goes first, then Z can't go last because then you violate rule number 6 down here, right? But that's not what they asked you. They only asked you like of these 6, which one is acceptable. And so you just run through your rules again and you eliminate until you get the correct answer. Okay. Next question, 22. If X is performed first, so X blank 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 blank, right? Which of the following must be true? Okay, so if X is performed first, well, look what we have, right? Y is before everything else. T, O, P, and Z, Y is before all of them. So no matter what order these guys are in, Y's got to be second. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's answer choice D, right? That has to be it. We don't know anything else about these guys. We know that T is somewhere out here. We know that OPZ is somewhere out here. But there's a lot of different ways that we can put this combination together. There's if you put T in front, T in the middle, T over here. So there's 4 different ways we can put this combination together. But this one's got to be here, right? So that's the answer to question 22. 23. Each of the following is acceptable schedule in order from first to last, except. Okay. So lots of acceptability questions in this game, which I actually really like because these acceptability questions are typically pretty easy. YTOPXZ, YXOPZT, XYOPZT, XYOTPZ. Okay, so going through this, Y before T in all of these, yes. YOPZ, 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 YOPZ. Okay, so these rules are all satisfied, right? Okay, so basically what we're left with, like, you almost see the disconnect between this set of rules and this set of rules, right? So now we're left with this, right? We're left with the information about who can sing what, and we're left with the idea that 1 is not equal to 6, right? So since that's the only information that we have left, we can go ahead and just look at 1 versus 6, right? So for example, like Y and Z, we just talked about. If Y is first, Z can't be last, right? So yeah, that's got to be it, because they're asking us which of these cannot be true. George sings Y, George sings Z, so this can never be a valid arrangement of the elements. And you see the commonalities on the rest of these is that they all include X, 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 or Y and T, right? Like these 3, we actually just don't know anything about. So there's no way you should be selecting A, D, or E, because you don't have enough information. Right? In answer choice C, what happens is that Y is sung by George, but T is sung by Helen, so this is okay, right? Okay, so this is just a straight, the application of rule number 6. Okay, last question. If Y is performed first, the songs performed second, third, and fourth respectively could be. Okay, so if Y is performed first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If Y is performed first, we're looking for who could go in this second slot. Right? Okay, so TXO, TZO, XOP, XPZ, XTO. Okay, so it seems to me that all these ones with X's, right, they could go in the second slot because X does whatever it wants, right? Also, Y, like T is right here, right? That's fine, sure. Z, though, can, like T and then Z. Z can't go third, right? Z's got to go toward the very end, right? So his answer choice B is definitely not right. That also torpedoes answer choice D, right? Because XPZ, well, you've got P and O and T that you haven't that you're not addressing yet, right? So B is also not going to be correct, or D is not also going to be correct because Z is way too far forward. Again, the rest of these I answer as A, Y, T, X, O, and then P and then Z, but then hold on a second. Right now, like we've sort of gotten rid of the low-hanging fruit here, but thinking about the rest of these, now we have to think about the possibilities, right? So there's 3 possibilities left. So let's actually just bring these down, and then we can actually just plug them in and see visually why 2 of them can't be right. Right, so Y, T, X, O, right? O is right here. Okay, so that leaves P and Z, right? But then look what we have. We have Y sung by George, Z sung by George. So answer is A is not going to be right. How about down here? X, O, P. X can do whatever it wants, and then O, P. And then you have 1 of T or Z, and 1 or T or Z. Well, clearly, this can't be Z, right? So it's got to be T, which leaves this one to be Z. Right, so this doesn't violate any of our rules, like Y before T, Y, O, P, Z, and then first is not equal to last. Right, so this looks pretty good, which means that this one can't be right. So X, T, O, P, Z. Once again, George sings the first song, George sings the last song, answer choice E is not going to be right. So therefore, answer choice C has to be the correct answer. Right. So 24 really is just the only question that I think really combines reading this chart with this these last 4 rules in terms of who goes first and last, and then you find out that through a little bit of elimination, the answer choice C is the only one that actually works. Right. All of them are plausible; they seem to work, but only one of them actually does. Okay, and that's the game.